The most susceptible form of Christianity to deception is that which is being practiced in Africa.
For the first time ever, we investigate a Christian religious leader. They are the most difficult to investigate, the most expensive to investigate, the most time-consuming, the most dangerous.
Spiritual updates.
I am a fetish priestess. Nana Agrada, sometimes called Mama Pat, a woman of God, an evangelist. Evangelist.
Evangelist Patricia Odro Cranton.
However you want to put it, has been trending in Ghana recently and I think is worth talking about. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is George, Facts Over Sentiment. I'll be giving you a breakdown as to what has led to her current state right now being sentenced to prison for 15 years, if she's going to be getting probably a presidential pardon, if that is even possible. But let's look at the facts of what is being said about her person and what we can actually learn from it, because this is why I talk about trending conversations. It's been a while. Yes, I have been posting on my other platform. Initially, she started off as a fetish priestess, like you see her talk about herself here. She even had more like a documentary about her person and what she does. I'm going to play that, of course, so we get to see a background of where she comes from as we now get on to her transitioning into becoming a church leader. And yes, she has a lot of following. So in case you see her following in the comments defending her, or probably Ghanaians throwing tantrums at me, it's okay. We understand. We are used to this over here. And also I get to connect her activities also to at least someone we know popular in Nigeria who can be seen in the same light based on what she is being accused of, Prophet Jeremiah Omotofufeyin.
You will come with 30,000 or 50,000 or as far as 100, about anyone you want to come, but at least it's 30,000. This one will be with you. This currency will be with you. I'll give you this one. Will be with you for 3 months. Then this one will be with you. The first one, that envelope, will be with you. On the 2nd of December, you will come with it. So, from Sunday to Saturday, then I'll give you another one to now on your lights. Then go and now wash out. People around you will ask you, where do you go?
Let's look at her for the meantime. Listen in as we get to go on. If you are here for the first time, you can tell me where you're watching from. It would be nice to meet you.
I am a fetish priestess.
Note this particular premise here. Cafe boys pay her to be able to manipulate her victim, because you see her doing the exact same thing even while being a preacher, a woman of God. Patterns don't lie. I'm of course consulting her was 100 cedis. Interesting. I think she actually made it cheaper when a Nigerian took a trip to her church with the idea of exposing her. So this is just a story, a background story to the video I'm going to play after this one. And there she charged, or the charge to actually see her was 50 cedis. So I think maybe she reduced her hand a little bit, doing it for the Lord. Interesting. But let's go on to them exemplifying what she does when she was, or at this point when she is. Anything that is produced of this kind of deity is not really going to be, why am I even saying it's not really going to be? It's not of God, just for you to understand. But you see, Christianizing this practice is what I find quite concerning, because she also gets to continue the same practice. Let me play this video of her just a few months ago, talking about her lucky soap she has, some creams she has, or would I say quote and unquote spiritual items that can be used to connect people for favor and all of that. And think of something familiar that we have discussed here on the platform before, looking at Nigeria's own Jeremiah Omotofufeyin. Watch this yourself.
Oh yes. Nyamia ma ye lucky soap, me jolly. Nyamia ma ye lucky oil, me jolly. Nyamia ma ye spiritual cream, me usubi. If you want anybody to connect with you, so won't be able to say musika. We'll be an account to musika in Amawa. Just come to heavyweight champion.
Now, one thing I have with Ghana is that, in as much as I would want to discuss things happening in that particular ecosystem, the language barrier is an issue. I spent 4 years in Ghana, 4 to 5 years in Ghana, and couldn't speak Chui. Ade, So Ghanaians, forgive me if I don't understand her perfectly, but that is what I could deduce from that video. What do you think about that? She hadn't even changed her antics. It's still the same thing. She has to give him a soap to go and bath for that connection to happen, for the person to receive what money he wants to receive from his client. Of course, it's Yahoo Yahoo, internet scam, love scam, however you want to put it. And then the same thing, of course, could be the same purpose in the Christian setting. At least if you're in an environment whereby you have to be dealing with material, spiritual items, where you are in a shrine. I have to tell you, of course, sincerely, if I want to speak of this, of course, on a higher level, we can now start talking about spiritual items like olive oil or Goya oil or having the Holy Spirit inside the bottle. We don't want to go there, but at least you can see similitudes of this whole thing happening, probably in your church or someone you hold to a high esteem. We have a long way to go on some conversations coming up in the future, but this is just a teaser for you to understand that Nana Agrada may not be that different when it comes to her antics in the more polished systems we have today in churches. I'm not a church hater. I'm just stating the obvious.
Spiritual updates. When God seen that this man is a fraudster called 419, but because of the first fruit, God said when he was at the place when the angels were sending and descending, you may be saying, he said, I, the Lord, God of Israel, God of Abraham, I am surely behind you because of first fruits. Is it not first fruit?
It's first fruit.
That is a product of first fruit. Are you hearing me?
At this point, I want to give you a background of her sentencing because she has been sentenced to 15 years in jail. And permit me to read from my notes because, I take time to study before I make videos so that when I'm being taken to court myself or like I'm already in court, we have to make sure we are following facts. She was sentenced to 15 years for the issue of defrauding by false pretense and charlatanic advertisement. So defrauding by false pretense and charlatanic advertisement, they are a bit intertwined in the sense that she had to make an advertisement which now led to the defrauding by false pretense. But we have to understand what factors define these sentences for us to know if it's a just sentence or not a just sentence. Let's understand what defraud by false pretense means. You can just simply Google this. Defrauding by false pretense, also known as theft by false pretense, involves obtaining someone else's property through deception, specifically by making a false representation of a past or present fact. The perpetrator must intend to defraud the victim, and the victim must rely on the false representation to transfer ownership of the property. Now, typically in Ghana, the sentencing for this should be 25 years or less. So if she's getting 15 years, that could be good. But let's get on to some more detail. Charlatanic advertisement. This refers to the advertising that is deceptive, fraudulent, and makes false claims about abilities, services, or products, usually with the intent to trick people into giving money or other valuables. In Nana Agrada's context, it specifically refers to the deceptive advertising of her money doubling scheme or other fraudulent spiritual activities she was carrying out. So let me give you a bit of a timeline because I've seen that timeline situation being a bit confused on social media. Prior to April 2021, she was a fetish priestess, but something happened around that time. In 2021, Nana Agrada was operating an illegal TV station, and the Accra Circuit Court judge fined her for operating without license and charlatanic advertisement. This conviction was based on her own plea of being guilty. Now, at this time when she was doing charlatanic advertisement, she wasn't yet converted to Christianity, so it was still very much her doing what she knows how to do best, being a fetish priestess. Come on, you could see a documentary about her as well. So what else would you expect? But this is where it becomes more interesting. So while Nana Agrada publicly declared her conversion to Christianity and changed her name to Evangelist Patricia Oduro Quarantine in April 2021, note the date, reports from 2022 and outwards still frequently referred to her as a former fetish priestess turned evangelist or repentant priestess. More importantly, the money doubling scam allegations and her subsequent arrest in October 2022. Note, the money doubling scam happened after she converted from what? Being a fetish priestess into being what? An evangelist. So she was convicted for illegally operating a TV station prior to her converting to Christianity. And even at that point, of course, had an issue with respect to a money doubling scam that happened in 2022, not too long from then. She was subsequently arrested in October 2022, which stemmed from the activities she conducted under the guise of her Heaven Way Church, which was founded after her conversion. This suggests that as of 2022, she was operating as an evangelist, though her past as a fetish priestess was frequently referenced in discussions about her activities. So let me just give you more like a timeline for you to understand what's up. April 2021, her TV station, Thunder TV, Ice One TV, were shut down for operating without license, of which she was also arrested at that time. April 29, 2021, Nana Agrada publicly declared her conversion to Christianity, stating, "Jesus saved me when I was in police custody." She also publicly burned her idols and shrine artifacts. This draws me to remember the recent video we discussed about Pastor MENSA OTABIL, where he talked about people who just one day receive a call and then tomorrow they open a church.
We are talking about the next generation, influencing those who are coming. These generations who, if you sense God has called you, you have to go to seminary. You have to. If you are in your 20s, you feel God has called you, go to seminary. If you are in your 30s, God has called you, go to seminary. If you are in your 40s, God has called you, go to seminary. If you are in your 50s, we'll hold you like that. We'll hold you like that, 50s, 60s. We'll just manage with you and ease you out. May you do no harm to the next generation. May you do no harm to the next generation. But we'll hold you like that. The charismatic church, we see so much power, and maybe that is what all of you see. But I see so much danger and so much self-destruction, so much dissipation of confidence. More and more the congregation and the public is losing confidence in us. And then Pentecostalism gave birth to something else called charismatism, the final frontier of Christianity. Charismatism is at the end of the Christian Reformation, but it is the most easy to derail form of Christianity, because charismatism has, each one interprets the Bible for himself. It is this charismatism that has become the chief face of Christianity in Africa. So if you marry African spiritist worldview with charismatism, it's a very lethal combination. I'm just summarizing everything. I can go deeply into it. I'm just trying to. But I'm saying that if you marry a people with a spiritist worldview with a people from a charismatic worldview who are very unorthodox in everything they do, at every point they can come up with something new that has no roots, and you put these two together, you are going to have a kind of Christianity that is very frightening. Very frightening, because it is susceptible to deception. The most susceptible form of Christianity to deception is that which is being practiced in Africa and being exported out of Africa to the rest of the world.
So, just from being a priestess, operating an illegal station, getting arrested and convicted for that, the same month, she comes out and says that God saved her while she was in the prison. Who preached to her? Someone would say, did she go through discipling? Because some people would say, like, people were arguing with MENSA OTABIL, like, oh, even the Bible, most of its compositions and even Jesus' disciples, some of them were stuck some of them were illiterate or were not like that educated or something. There's a defense for that. But this is also that whole idea of there having to be a process with respect to you, leading a church or being whatever you are in the faith. Either you are going to seminary school or probably you have some kind of training. Recently, we have been talking about Apostle Aramosai's situation with respect to his community praying for 10 hours and some people having their different doctrine or dogma, or would I say traditions, as to how their religious faith comes on. Because now some of you will now start asking who is her spiritual father or who is her spiritual mother or spiritual brothers. Probably those in Ghana can help me in the comments. I didn't do my findings up to that. Now I know one thing for sure, that she had an issue with Owusu Bempah, at which she was supporting John Dramani Mahama at first, only for her to start having issue with Owusu Bempah, Owusu Bempah in the Ubat Angel community. Those people, they're a different conversation entirely. And then she made a video where she was saying that she would even go back to being a priestess, and she promised when she was campaigning that the government that John Dramani Mahama took over from should actually be voted into power. Please listen to her.
You have to work on it. That is why I am working on it. I am not here to do politics. I am here to work on it for what God has told me to come to pass. I will go back to the shrine, and it is a promise. Because me jinya me di say ni to me wo ho, na ni to me ye dwuma. Na do no ready yi bi kire me no. Me jina ha ka kire Ghana fo nyina say. Say the nyame ye kire me say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. On kana come and to him. He is the next president. The same Mahmoud ya nyame kan okore. I will go back to the shrine, and it is a promise. And I know what God revealed to me will surely come to pass.
So this brings me to my question as to if she will get any form of pardon, being that she's someone that has a lot of clout. Because there was a time she was also talking about, taking Ghana Must Go money to John Dramani Mahama. I don't know if she later succeeded in doing that, but that is a point I will be discussing towards the end of the video. So just to give you a summary, she just changed the branding of what she has been doing and brought the same principles over to her newfound faith. And if you think she's just a regular person, she has a huge following, I would say. But let's go on. In October 2022, allegations of money doubling scam resurfaced, this time under the guise of the Heavenway Church. She was arrested again following these accusations. So I'm going to play a video for you, at least from people who were eyewitnesses, as at how she was able to do that, so we get to really understand. If you watch a video up to this point, let's write in the comment, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Let's go on to the next video.
So on Saturday, the 8th of October 2022, social media was awash with church members of the Heavenway Champion International Church, which is located at Wager Junction, and it is headed by Nana Agrada, as widely known, but her name is Evangelist Patricia Odro, of defrauding these church members. Now, in these videos, you could see some of the church members invoking curses on the said pastor, and their concern was that they had been told to bring some monies to the church, and that in return they were going to get extra monies from the head pastor for them to carry out their mandate, either to use for work or to use for any other thing. Subsequently, the Ghana Police Service picked up the head pastor, who is named Nana Agrada, and was also brought before the circuit court on Monday.
I'm really, if you're watching me and you were a Ghanaian, I like Ghana. I lived there for years, and I would say one thing for sure: Ghana is a good country. I think it's a more no nonsense country than Nigeria, where I come from, and I say this with my full chest because I've been in both environments. Would I say because she's not like in the top 3, top 4, top 10 pastors, or would I say leaders in Ghana, that is why they could just pick her up and based on allegations, or would I say people writing petitions? Because when I look at this, how is that different from, let's say, Jeremiah Motofufuyin? Just that, with her own level of literacy, maybe that was what she was able to come up with. So what was the intent? And most of the time, people that get caught up in this whole shenanigans would be the poor people, and also people that have greed. Because someone that you don't know from nowhere, and you just see an advertisement, which is of course deceptive, because had it been she did that advertisement, they came and they got what they came for. We are not going to be here. She will not be jailed, because what she promised, she was able to deliver. Does that make sense? So this is a case whereby she did the advertisement. People came and he didn't go as to how she actually said. But those who are going to fall victim of this themselves is maybe fake Christians, I would say. Some of them may not even be Christians. People, well, that's why when I look at these churches and their leaders and how they get to behave, the people themselves that they pastor or they lead are just, I don't see them to be different from their leaders, because if your leader is fake, you are fake. If your leader is a charlatan, you are a charlatan yourself. And that's why they can easily get to manipulate you and deceive you. When you look at the whole miracle money situation that happened with Tubat Angel Suleiman, I came out here and exposed to you how they were able to just transfer money from this person to this person. That's a very charlatanic activity. But where we come from is not even, no. It can't get to this point, I think so. Except you are not someone in that particular sport, like the one that has recently been trending, Apostle Amos, but that one will come up later. I'm just getting back to conversations here. But let's go on as someone that is an eyewitness actually said how it happened. And the fact that she still has people who are hailing her is what I find quite interesting. Now, this was as at 2022, so this is not the current one. Even though the current one I saw, there were still people that were hailing her as she left the court. But I think this one, she got bail after this particular incident.
Now, after court proceedings, we understand that she has been denied bail, but what really happened in court today? I will be speaking to my colleague Hansen Ajiman, who was in court and is joining me currently. Hansen, you've been in court. What were the reasons that were raised by the lawyers on both sides?
So today's case specifically was by prosecution to ask for the accused person to be remanded into police custody while investigations continue. Prosecution argued specifically that they had a lot more of investigations to be done, one, and two, that the evangelist in person doesn't have a permanent place of abode, and also that she was a flight risk. However, the lawyers for Nana Agrada argued that she was a good person and that she is a well-known person and that she has expressed commitment to submit herself to police interrogation and investigations. However, the court, after considering the arguments by both prosecution and also the lawyers of the accused person, decided to remand Nana Agrada into police custody for 3 days. She's expected to reappear in court on October 13. She's been charged with 7 counts, which mainly border on 2 charges. 1, defrauding by false pretense. 2, charlatanic advertisements on TV and newspaper to lure her victims. We are told by prosecution that 7 persons are complainants in this case at the moment. However, the police is expected that more church members and members of the public who have been affected by this act will come out and also make official complaints. So perhaps on the next sitting day, we should expect the number of people who will be complainants in this case to increase. She's expected to be at the Accra Regional Police Command, where the command has taken over investigations into the matter.
So without there being people literally complaining to the police, nothing could happen. And that is how the system, of course, would work. So even if we get to experience something like that in Nigeria, the police will not just look at maybe what is circulating and go and arrest a particular prophet or a particular apostle or whatever by just what they see. So a complaint has to actually be filed, or, do you understand what I'm saying? let's say in a case like this. But I've seen situations whereby, that's why I was wondering, the case of Paul Adefarasin with the whole stun gun thing he was holding at that time. I was wondering, did someone actually file a complaint to the police for him to be invited, or they just moved by the attention that that particular case had for them to swing into action, to invite him and then to carry out investigations? I don't know. Nigeria can be a very interesting place sometimes, but I'm not just saying this. I'm not saying this to demarcate my country. I've been around in the religious space of conversations for a long time to know that it's a different ball game entirely. Let's listen to someone that was there in the church.
Meanwhile, we've been speaking to some of these victims who also came to the court to witness what is happening here. So how much did you take there?
500. Exactly.
How much were you expecting to get in return?
Oh, I was not expecting any money. Me, what I was expecting, like he would share the money to how she was saying it. I was not expecting money, but how she started with it.
I think this man is educated. Anyway, spirituality without common sense is amplified stupidity. So you were not expecting money, but you actually gave money. Expecting what? Because according to the advertisement, she said she was going to be sharing 300,000 Ghana cedis as per the report at a particular night vigil or so. So people were supposed to come, and then, you know, they will get the money shared to them. So if you were why did you even go there and you're saying you were not expecting anything? Because you went there with an expectation. When church adverts are being put out, they are put out as well for you to have an expectation. Either you are going to receive something, you are going to go and pray. There has to be a reason for something to happen. So I was like, why is he answering like this? But let's go on.
Nobody knew that she's going to take money back to do something. Because
how did the whole event pan?
It started after when she finished preaching. She was like, all the guys protect the boys to lock the doors. You're about to share the money, and money issue, she doesn't joke with it.
So you know that she doesn't joke with money. Money issue, she doesn't joke with it. Interesting. Does he speak like someone that is a regular member there, or someone that just comes around? Or she said that she doesn't joke with money, so they had to close the door. Probably they shouldn't even record, because from the video that came out from a Nigerian who did an undercover investigation into her person, I'm going to play the video for you, so don't worry. If you have patience, at her church, you don't get to record when you are in church. You don't record, you don't use your cell phones to record anything there. So he did an undercover thing, which I'll play the video as we get to go on. But let's listen.
So we were there, and he took 2 bundles of 4,000 down, and she said, if you are having 1,000, you should bring it and take the 4,000.
So if you have 1,000 Ghana cedis, bring it to her and they
take the 400,000. 1,000 exactly. So when she said, immediately she said that, I think half of the church stood up and sent the money. So when they sent the money, she said, plenty people like this sharing the money. She said one of them should pick their leader. So a leader of that place went to stand, and they were waiting for the money. Then he said, if you are plenty like this, you want someone who will bring 2,000 to take the 4,000, then those 1,000 people are disqualified.
And if you are disqualified, is it meaning that you are going to get your money back?
You are not going to get your money back.
You understand? So she did a collection. Those of you who have want to get 4,000, I'll give you 1,000. You give me 1,000, I give you 4,000. So those half of the church went out, gave their, 1,000. I think for them, of course, they would make sure that the system is so organized such that they make sure that those who are standing waiting for their 4,000 have indeed given 1,000. So nobody would also go there to go and cheat her and go and stand as if you have given money when, you have not given any money, but you are waiting to receive. Because now thief, all of you are just, she's a criminal. All of you that went with that particular advertisement also have a criminal mindset, or you have a very lazy mindset with the idea of doubling. I guess I might be offending some people with the way I'm sounding, but that's how deep deception can be. So clearly, of course, people came out, and then what did she do? After saying that there are many, she now said, okay, one person can give 2,000 and receive the 4,000 on behalf of everybody. That means others who came out and gave 1,000 ab initio would not receive anything. But this is where it becomes more interesting. Listen, because this human being, this brother here, I find him to be very funny.
You are not going to get it back. Okay. So all the 1,000 people went and sat down, and a certain man was talking. he was very angry. So when he was talking, then he told that man that because of how the man is angry, so when he said that, some of the women over there were angry. In fact, they were totally angry. So a man came there with 2,000, was standing there to wait for another money. Then he said, those having the 500, we should come. So me too, I was part of them standing there. We picked our leader. And also he said, if you are having 1,000, you can come and use to take all of them. Then you stand there. Then all of the people having the 500, they will go and sit down. So
So you sit down, you saw that those who came and gave 1,000 received nothing. Only one person that came out as leader. That person that is maybe came out as leader that gave more might even be one of her, you don't know. And after seeing that with your eyes, you also took your 500 to. Are you sure she didn't use some of her juju to really do a spell on you people? Because how? You saw that others did not receive. Those who had higher than you, your 500 where you are holding, you still went. Let's listen to his story.
Today went and sat down, and we were sitting down, and you two were having 1,000. So later on, he mentioned of 500,000, whereby he know that each and every one over there is not having that money. So he connived with some of his small girls over there, and they came to send the money.
Give me a 4 million.
4 million. Now,
Okay, so this other person was 400 Ghana cedis. I was not there for my money to be double, but I saw it as an opportunity to get some funds to start a business. The money is a loan. Let's listen.
O expect to say yeah on bet times cinema, and I said now.
Pachonya times in Tina McCoy, me bobusia, and I'm the buy
1 million now the buying, and no case Kenya, Nenya Wausika, Uguji.
Me bobusia, and I'm the buy. Into trying ye or the betchayano. Anya juma nti ye sika na ye de amano no ene yeso wonfa maye nyemfa binya lole fe nko.
She said when we realized that she was not going to give us the money as promised, we asked for part of the monies we gave her. So it wasn't like, if it was like a normal collection they did, it would be like, okay, offering time, give as you wish. But she stated, come and give this amount so that, you understand. And according to the advertisement, she said she was going to be sharing money. Now, she didn't talk, according to the advertisement, what would bring people, of course, to come there would be that she was going to share money. Do you understand? But what happened in reality was that she was now giving them a money doubling idea. So even though she would say that she didn't go there to double money, she went there for an opportunity to get money to start her business. But she went with money, Sha. So when they now got there, they did the money doubling ideology, which they bought into. That's how I'm seeing it. But you can give me a different perspective to this based on how you understand it.
Into kona kakacha na no akacha say, wo ba sorry, nti no je se wo akra he ya de a, ene obema 2 cedi ana 5 cedi. Na se wo call engine de a, 10 cedi. Ene lonje ni so 10 cedi, enti me mfa me nko. Nti me edu me so no, me kama sama no wo me ma me pie. Na Abraham ka se menso ana me bo me su pa afisa 50% ko bi ni me ho me pie no de na me de be lole fa akọ nti me su pa na ne nkrofo be gu e kire ho ne ye tiwo ye hu ta mama me we pie ya ofro ka okọ.
I don't know if you get the picture that I'm trying to paint with this particular story. Come and money will be shared to you. As they now come, she stated that, okay, come out with this amount, you are going to get this. And later she now said that the monies that you have paid is an offering for the church, not as if you are paying the money for you to get something else. But instead, of course, people had to come out specifically to now collect a double money on behalf of a particular community of people that came with the same amount of money. Deception indeed. No wonder the cameras were off, and so there will be no evidence of that. But this is where it becomes more interesting. Now, people are saying that it might be possible that she can get a presidential pardon. But again, had it been she maybe campaigned for the president or spoke for him, maybe that could happen. But you see, that's also one thing. Remember, like I told you, when it comes to the 3 Ps, the pastors, the politicians, and the police, if the pastors are in good terms with the political sphere with respect to that relationship between politics and the pastors. Probably the police can get to bend to the will of the pastors or the politicians as to whatever might be going on around them. Had it been the person she wanted to be president and spoke out vocally for became the president, maybe this issue may not even get to this point. We might have some covering. I don't know if you understand. That's why sometimes you see that the governments may not really want to get into the affairs of the Christian community, because they would also need the attention that these people have to be able to champion their cause in the future. So you don't get to see that particular mix of the state and, religion. That clear separation is there. But the truth should always be the truth, so no matter what situation, of course, it is. But what can we learn from this whole issue with Nana Agrada? I think these things happening is for us to really have our eyes open clearly. Now, there are people that are still going to be deceived tomorrow as I'm speaking, who may not even be on social media of this whole kind of scam. Seriously, let me play the video of the person who actually had a time to visit her and did an undercover investigation as to, although he's not a Christian, he's more like a agnostic, if I'm to say so. He doesn't believe in any religion, but he just went to prove that there was nothing. Just watch the video.
For the first time ever, we investigate a Christian religious leader. A Christian religious leader. They are the most difficult to investigate, the most expensive to investigate, the most time-consuming, the most dangerous. The things I noticed while I was at that place, I got to a place around 9 a.m. in the morning. 9 a.m. and there are just few people in our church, and after I thought that there won't be a lot of people in our church because of the issues covering around our church. But when I got there around 9 o'clock, and I thought it would be very easier for people to actually recognize the scam. And I sat down, and there were just a few people at our church around 9 a.m. and I was like, wow, they've gotten the truth. There is no point actually investigating this woman. Then around 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, the church was so filled up that there wasn't enough people. There wasn't enough chairs. There were not enough chairs for people to actually sit on. I'm very serious about it. The church was filled up, and it was full. The second thing is that she lacked the thinking demography, and I mean around 18 people of 18 years old to 25 to 30 years old. These are when people actually think that they believe that they can actually understand the world with the tools of their mind. And there weren't a lot of people. There weren't a lot of people there. There weren't a lot of people of that demography. And I think to some extent that is actually good news. That is actually good news, because she is very controversial. She actually said something that a gay person actually had sex with her husband. You see a lot of things, controversial things about her, but she's very famous. She's very famous. Ghana is compared to Nigeria, it is very small. It is very small, but there are about 30 million people in this country. But a lot of people actually believe that she's still a real deal. She's still a real deal. But that demography itself was actually absent, and I'm actually happy for that. And I'm happy for that. The third thing is that it is a cult. This is a cult, not a church. A cult, a religion is a cult that went mainstream. But this is just a plain cult as it stands right now. People are not allowed. They are not allowed to take pictures in a church. You're not allowed to actually record any video. You can't even take a picture of yourself. I got there and I was taking a picture. I wasn't even doing any kind of stuff. I was taking a picture of my phone, and they just took my phone and off, and I was like, wow, fuck. Why are you taking pictures? Why are you taking pictures? There are no pictures. Pictures are not, and this is the church. This is a church, for Christ's sake. This is the church. And those are the few things I actually noticed at a place. When I got there, these oils, they were for sale. The church has to make some money somehow, right? But then I met someone who actually directed me to actually see someone who has the connection to who actually takes the inventory for people actually going to meet her. And to actually meet her, to talk to her, you have to pay 50 cedis. I kid you not, 50 cedis. To meet a religious leader, you have to pay 50 cedis. Watch this.
We have the protection oil. oil that will protect you from evil things.
Okay, so I came to see her personally.
Yeah,
I
you
was,
pay 15 cedis
okay.
for charge, and the oil is 20 cedis. And sorry, 70 cedis.
I was hoping to actually see her directly. You see, I'm not a religious person. I don't believe in the Bible or the Quran or any of those things. But I remember my days back in Bible study when we read the book of Matthew. I think it is Matthew. I think Matthew chapter 10 verse 8 that actually said, this is the Bible talking, no, not me. This is the Bible talking. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those who have leprosy, drive out demons. Freely you have received, freely give. But to meet Nana Agrada, we have to pay 50 cedis. And I paid. Then she sat me down and asked me about my problem. I told her I had the disease. I sleep with about 3 to 4 girls minimum on a day, and I'm actually going broke. It is ruining my life, and I feel like maybe something was wrong with me. So that was what I met her for, like a sexual problem. I only speak English.
What is your problem?
I have an issue. I was recommended to actually come in. It is a sexual issue.
What's the issue?
It is a sexual issue. Okay. I have this.
Spiritual.
No. That's what I'm here to check. I have this. Incredible. At least on the minimum. I have sex with about 3 girls on the minimum a day.
Okay.
I have someone even waiting for me at home right now.
What do you want Mama to do for you?
I don't know. I want her to actually find out what is wrong with me.
Is it real? Is it physical?
I don't know. I'm here to check.
No. What I mean is, do you have sex with against physically or spiritually?
Spiritual.
Is it spiritual?
Sometimes spiritual. Most of the time it's physical, but sometimes it is spiritual. Yeah.
What's the name?
Daniel.
Daniel. Daniel is no problem. Being a man in Sabda. A day. Spiritual.
You bring 200 cities.
You bring 200 Ghana cities. 200 Ghana cities.
200 Ghana cities.
Yes.
Okay.
So that you get from this.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, will I wait till then to find out what is wrong with me? Or?
No.
Unless you bring the money.
Yeah. Then she
consult
give you direction.
the directions and see what is wrong with you.
You understand?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so you just bring from the 200 Ghana cities.
Alright.
Because there's an agreement that she'll do with you.
Okay, I'll give it to you. When can I do that?
If it's ready now, you can bring it. Or Tuesday, you can bring it.
Okay, Tuesday. Alright, thank you.
Tuesday, yes, you come.
Yeah?
Tuesday, come to church.
Bring it. What time should I
In
come?
the morning.
Okay, like what time?
Like the time you came to it.
Oh!
Like 7 you are here.
Okay, alright. Thank you.
Alright.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. I have to actually comment on my disease alone. I have to pay 200 cedis. 200 cedis. And I didn't have 200 cedis on me because I had no account number and I was actually low on cash. Like, I was like low on cash. Only my money to get me back to my Sakumono at my place. That was what I had on me. And I had to come back on Tuesday. I met her on Sunday, then I had to come back on Tuesday. Bring the 200 cedis.
You buy a lacquer soap.
Lacquer soap. Black soap, okay.
One rubber bucket.
One
Rubber bucket. And then oil that you buy, the oil, when you go, you are not a spiritual person. You will not sell it to you.
Okay. Oil. One oil.
I said the oil that you have to buy.
Okay.
It's a spiritual oil.
Okay.
So when you do, they will not sell it to you unless you give us money.
Good.
So I will send them to go and buy it.
Okay.
So one is merely oil, camel oil. You buy merely oil 7, camel oil 7. But when you go, they will not buy, they will not sell it to you.
Okay.
So as for the oil, my boys will go and buy it.
Okay.
So one is 100 cedis.
Okay.
Then we are leaving, one is 100, we buy 7.
Okay.
The 7 will make 700 cedis.
Okay.
And the camel to one is 200.
Okay.
Then we buy 7. So that one to make how much?
74, 1,004.
1,004 plus
1,100.
1,100 for the oil.
Okay, 2,100 for the oil. I just want to know.
So I'm going to start it.
She mentioned Alata soap, that is a common soap, But then she mentioned 2 soap. She called it moringa oil and camel oil, That is something called camel oil. It's baby oil, But the funniest thing is that we asked Ghanaians about this oil, and the funniest thing is that the oil doesn't exist. That's the thing, She told me that this oil they won't sell for me, and it cost 7 bottles of moringa oil and 7 bottles of camel oil, and it will cost me 2,100 cedis, 2,100 cedis. And she was like, I have to actually buy 7 of it, and the boys would actually buy it for me because I can't actually find it in any kind of spiritual, because I'm not a spiritual person. They won't sell it for me. They wouldn't sell it for me. So the boys will actually go and buy that for me. Then we ask people, what does this moringa oil actually mean? This camel oil, And they were like, people that were familiar with actually told me that she was making things up. Because I asked Ghanaians, there was no evidence of this oil. That was no evidence of this oil. These oils are not oils that actually exist in Ghanaians. So something happened. Something so pathetic happened. She said she was struggling to take money off me because I didn't want to give her that 2,100 cedis. I was struggling not to give her that 2,100 cedis, and she was struggling to get that money off me. Okay, I can I transfer the money to him? Can I get his number?
The one you have to bring.
The money on me is not mine. I have
to. How much?
The money is not my own money.
You can bring it, then go and withdraw it. So we are going to start your work today. As you have paid it 200.
I know. I'm Nigerian. I don't have the Ghanaian account to actually withdraw. You transfer money for me. So that is no way to do what the person sent me to do today. Unless I can just. Is it possible for me to do this on Sunday morning or come on Sunday and actually transfer the money?
First come, not transfer. We are using it to buy the things. You can't transfer it to anybody's account.
Okay.
So if you have small, you bring it. I will add this thing here and start. Okay. So that I can finish.
I have the time. I know. I have the time, but it is my mom that sends me something. I can't just, I don't want to.
So are you saying Sunday you can make
I can do all the money on Sunday. It's no problem now. I came today. I can always come on Sunday. 2,100 cedis. And I should bring the bucket also on Sunday.
The bucket and the soap.
Okay, and the soap. Okay.
When you bring the money for the money, then you do it for you.
At this stage of the investigation, she hasn't even told me what my problem was, what the problem was already. She was just like, I will just do this and do this and do this. Then I asked her what my problem was, and she asked for my name, and she just started meditating, and she was like, well, it is spiritual marriage, This.
Yeah, started your name.
Daniel. Adewoyin. ADEWOYIN.
Spiritual.
I don't know what it is. I came here to. It is spiritual marriage. Okay, thank you. I stay around the Sakumono.
What way do you do?
I'm a student by blog. I haven't been with a woman in months. Not this year, not the half of last year. So this is all. She was just skimming. She was like, 200 cedis to talk to you, 50 cedis to actually talk to her in the first place, and 2,100 to actually get paid more for all of this stuff, And it was sad. It was sad to see. Sad to see that there are a lot of people, like, very young kids, just like go marriage, and because this is a cult, honestly, everything in the church is actually restricted. When you are going to meet her, you can actually use your phone. So I would the investigation to this it is already out there, and I'll be out of Ghana by the time this goes public.
That is a Nigerian's own experience, having to be in her premises and meeting her one-on-one, and it was a different thing entirely. We have many churches like this in Nigeria, maybe still many, of course, in Ghana. Some of them are even polished and rebranded as, top tier churches, and a lot of deceptive practices still get to go on. She may be a scapegoat today, but at least her case has formed a premise which may be used to look at other cases in the future. So I would say one thing for sure: Ghana is doing really well, at least to not even be afraid in dealing with a priestess or a former priestess like her. For her to even be coming out to say that she will go back to what she was doing was quite interesting. And let me not forget this video. Even when she was burning her gods, there was a clip where she was talking about her 3 gods that she has. I don't know if she really burned those one, or if she means that she is still going to be, in partnership with those 3 gods, because those 3 gods were also shown in this video. Let me play the clip for you.
But me for penny. I a friend and a couple. Or the man, my friend is all my fat. I know you're MENSA. And yet, Busmu, and I see time. When you travel. Neme and Sanity and Yamedia. I know that the mamma and son at Messume Quacogemedia a couple. It's maybe the idea, minimum mamma in the Bibia and Yakasama Palm in Machi. That's the Anya Median in knew to me some makes me ashen. It's no matter the
So maybe a Ghanaian can tell me what she was saying there, because I feel that she didn't really give up that particular life, but she just had to rebrand after maybe duping many people as a fetish priestess. She has to come on the guise of Christianity, where anything goes, anything flows, and is still thriving in it. How she was able to build a church or building like that, have TV station, is something that you wonder, where did they see this money? So probably it is from scams like this that she gets to make her money and still has members in the church. And sometimes when you look at the majority of the populace you see in the church, it is women. Just that even though some men also get involved. Yes, she is divorced, I believe so. And I don't know how her current husband now, Boga, I don't know what he's doing now in the church, because for a fact, there will still be people worshipping there and being part of what they are doing. They will say it's a persecution. And I was reading news that they say that she is like Jonah. What message does she have? Spiritual items. We have our own spiritual items in Nigeria. He has private jet, according to the news. He has a entourage of following, and he still operates every day. What has the government done about his activities? No, this is someone that has links and has connections and is well respected, of course, by politicians. You don't want to touch him. And I'm not here fronting a campaign, just that Nigerians watching this, or majority of Africans who know what happens in the Nigerian ecosystem with respect to people like this with spiritual items, spiritual materials, charlatanic advertisement is very normal where I come from. Just that maybe our law hasn't gotten to that level of application like you see here happening in Ghana. But Ghanaians, I would say your country is amazing. Today is Nana Agrada. Tomorrow, who else would it be? We don't know. But drop your opinions in the comments, and I am back and fully active. I've been discussing some other things on my backup page, so probably I'll link it up here in the pinned comments. And see you in my next video. Stay blessed.